Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and also if you're new, welcome. My name is Lakna. Thank you so much for tuning in. In this video, I want to talk about the upcoming month of November and some of the themes I see coming up for us using a blend of the interpretations of some Vedic astrology insights, tarot, and also numerology. So the month of November is a number 10 month in numerology, which in tarot, the number 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. And the number 10 signifies a completion of a cycle or of several cycles in our life, which makes sense coming down to the end of the year. We are basically almost completing the entire year, and usually it's towards the end of the year, like the end of December, when we have completed a lot of tasks, a lot of cycles, and we're getting ready for the new year, where we're ready to really make some new changes in our life. But this year, 2024, a really great time to prepare to start these new changes is right now in the month of November. So on the 1st of November as well, we start this month with a new moon. So new moons do signify the start of a new chapter, spiritually and planetarily. Astrologically, this is the time when we set our intentions and we really go inward, take the time out for ourselves to meditate, to reflect on our life and where we're at right now in our journeys, to see what new intentions we want to set, what seeds we want to plant in that time of the new moon, so that we can start moving towards these intentions, these goals, and we can sort of send that out to God, to the universe, whoever it is you believe in. We can set these intentions out to manifest. Instead of for the new year, we can start planning this a little bit earlier on. And it makes sense because when we move towards December, Mars, the planet Mars, which is the planet of our energy, our action, our motivation, and our drive to move forward, in December, Mars will be moving retrograde, which means we won't actually be called to move forward towards the end of the year. But instead, this month in November, we can really set the intentions no matter where our energy and our drive is moving, whether it's going forward towards new goals or backwards, which it will more likely be as we move towards the end of the year. We will be reflecting more, being more nostalgic, and maybe bringing stuff up to reintegrate and process from our past. This is still a very important part of our journey to allow us to integrate more, so we're stronger enough to move forward when the time is right. And this month of November especially is the time to set the intentions to do that. So in tarot, the number 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune, if we imagine this as the wheel of life, which is constantly moving, and the energy of our life is constantly shifting, constantly moving, constantly evolving. Sometimes this wheel moves forward, sometimes it actually does seemingly move backwards. Sometimes we have to take a few steps back to reintegrate and reprocess things so that we can really propel our steps forward in a more solid way. And I do believe this is going to happen as we move into December with the planet Mars, the planet of our action and energy and drive to move forward. The planet Mars will be going retrograde soon. So that is something, a theme that we can see with this Wheel of Fortune, is that the wheel will be moving back for us to revisit old situations, old themes that are going to resurface for us. History can seem to be repeating itself with this new cycle that we will be starting, because if we want to move forward on this wheel in a way that we are really solid and sure in ourselves, we do need to move a few steps back at times. This is why we have planets that go retrograde every single year. All the planets go retrograde at some point in time, so that we can reintegrate that part of our psyche and our personality and the themes and the events and situations that have transpired in our life that we still need to see in new perspectives. And the planet Jupiter, which rules this card, the Wheel of Fortune, the planet Jupiter, who is the guru, the one that gives us real true faith in life and optimism and this higher wisdom and understanding of the truth. Jupiter is also retrograde. Jupiter went retrograde in October last month, or this month, whenever you're watching this video. So Jupiter will be retrograde until February next year. So we are really towards this end of the year and even beginning of next year, we are doing a lot of that internal work of having to take a few steps back to reprocess and reintegrate things. And symbolically, looking at this card, I see this internal introspection as having, instead of being outside on this circle of life, imagine that this circle is like a ride, but this ride is literally your life. It's the story of your life, which you're going around in circles. And right now, this ride is going backwards in certain areas and aspects of your life. So the more that we are able to introspect and go within, so we're going inside the circle, really, we're going within more, inside, into, imagine that little part, that is like, it's kind of like the DNA, it's kind of like the real inner part of ourselves, our soul. So the more that we introspect, the more that we're able to go within, deeper and deeper into understanding who we are and why it is the things that have happened. Sometimes it doesn't even matter to know why, but at least to reprocess things, to heal, to let go more, to align more with our highest self. So we do this as we go more within and we become more introspective. And then when we're in this area here of our life, we are centered. We are completely centered and we are at peace and we are strong and we are knowing fully who we are. And then when we're in that area there in our life, it doesn't matter which direction this wheel is going, whether the wheel of life is like trying to shake things up and like going backwards and forwards, whether it's spinning around really fast, which I know can happen. I know that we've all been there, where we feel like we're sort of going through this cycle, this like sort of rat race where we have to, we wake up, we have our breakfast, we go to work, we come back when we're tired and we watch a movie or something and we fall asleep, and then we do the same thing again and again and again, and we lose sight of ourself, of our purpose, of our whatever our heart is really truly calling for and desiring. We lose sight of our inspiration, we lose sight of our family, our friends, all of those things that are truly deeply important to us. If we have if we're able to go more within and be more centered, then it doesn't matter what sort of life is throwing our way. Doesn't matter how stressful work is, or whatever sort of situations are coming into, even if it's like good and positive, and there's just sometimes that can be a lot. It can be overwhelming when there's so many opportunities coming your way, and that is when this wheel is just moving really fast, abundantly. This is the energy of Jupiter. Like the abundance is just like overflowing, and you're just like moving really fast. If you are centered and strong in your being, you will be ready, you'll be prepared to really absorb in all of that, all of those opportunities, all of that abundance. You'll have the space to align yourself with those new opportunities and new realities that you are, you're readily, like, they're waiting for you. Whatever you are waiting for, that is also waiting for you, but you have to have the space for that. And Jupiter is all expansive, all abundant, all trusting that in all of those beautiful things, Jupiter is so, like, Jupiter gives us that faith and trust in life. But Jupiter is retrograde right now until February 2025. So that retrograde means that we are really having to turn backwards on this wheel to revisit and reintegrate and reprocess the themes to do with our faith in and trust in life, and our beliefs about money, abundance, our spirituality, also like just higher learning and like wisdom as well. Jupiter is retrograde in Taurus, so these other themes that can come up are to do with money and beauty and love and relationships. So relationships is another big theme that is coming out this month of November, because we have this new moon on the 1st of November in the sign of Libra, which is also all about relationships. But this star of Libra, Swati, is about really maintaining your sense of self and individuality and independence, while still being connected to the ones that you love, and really like having this focus on people and relationships and friendships and partnerships, but still also balancing that out with your sense of self and identity. The Taurian themes as well, with Jupiter going retrograde in Taurus. Taurus is another sign that is a lot to do with love and relationships and partnerships and all things beauty. So wherever Taurus is in your chart and wherever Libra is in your chart, these two areas of your life are going to be activated, and that Libra will be activated very soon. And we also have a lot of new Scorpio energy coming through in this month of November. So the Sun will move into Scorpio towards the end of, towards halfway through the month, and then also Mercury. We also have a few other planets in Scorpio in the month of November. So Scorpio is about really going through change, death and rebirth. Like this card, nothing is permanent. The only permanent thing in our life is change. And Scorpio, the sign of Scorpio, really embraces that and enjoys that almost. Scorpio is all about transforming and transmuting energies to become a more evolved version of yourself. So this is what we need to embrace this month, and sometimes it's not easy to let go of the comforts of our old life and to literally let go, and it sometimes does feel like an actual death of an old version of ourselves, but it's actually more painful to hold on sometimes than to let go. So that is something to think about this month. On the 15th of November, we will have the full moon in Aries in Kritika Nakshatra. So this is following this November moon cycle, which starts with the Libra Swati new moon and then ending with Aries Kritika. And so this cycle, the themes that I see coming up for us for the month of November is really what will be illuminated to us by that full moon is us needing to be in this center of being centered in ourselves and strong in our sense of self and our identity, in our individuality, and really knowing who we are, and also being able to then, once we really are strong and solid in who we are, we can then be courageous in going through this cycle of life, this wheel of life, and moving through it fearlessly, courageously, being a leader where we feel called, following our inspirations and taking charge and moving full speed ahead on this wheel of life when we are fully centered and grounded in who we are. Then we can balance that out with the really being close in partnerships and relationships and friendships, and really allowing other people into our space, and having these beautiful bonds with the people that we love. But there is that theme that is going to arise, especially with the new moon in Swati. There is that theme of needing to learn to be more strong in our sense of self and our sense of identity and individuality without being manipulated or influenced, sometimes unconsciously, unintentionally. We can be very easily manipulated and influenced by the external world. Like, look at all of these distractions around us in our like wheel of life that we're going through. There's so many things that can influence our belief systems, our thoughts, the way that we view life, and can influence our path and our destiny if we aren't strong in our sense of self and our purpose and our whatever it is that our heart and our soul is calling from us and for us. So yeah, these are just some of the themes that I see coming up for November. One last thing is that Mercury will be going retrograde as well towards the end of November, I believe on the 25th or 6th of November. And so Mercury is another planet, another aspect of our psyche that is going back to revisit things from the past. And yeah, this is to do with our thoughts, the way that we communicate, a lot to do with our actual thought process, our logic, our intellect. Is themes to do with that are going to arise. And especially when Mercury goes retrograde, things really slow down and ask. This is a request from the planets, especially from Mercury. It's a request for us to slow down so that we can give our physical vessel and our mind and our soul on all levels, give ourselves that time to recharge. And I know it's really hard to give ourselves that space towards the end of the year when it is one of the busiest times of the year. Most of us are, if we are working, it is a very busy time with holidays coming up and everyone, wanting to buy presents, and like everyone's sort of, rushing around everywhere, and there's a lot going on, and we're not all lucky enough to just take a break towards the end of the year. If you are, that is great, because that is super aligned with the energies of what the planets are asking. But if you're not able to do that for yourself, if you are if you do have a very busy life, a busy schedule, I just ask you all to just prepare for the end of November, moving on to December, where we may not have as much energy, and not necessarily, some of you actually may have more energy. You may be more alive when these planets go retrograde because you're more of an introverted, internal, like you sort of thrive off of that. But if not, I just suggest that you take some time out, like earlier in the mornings, to like take some time out for you to meditate more, to go for a walk, and to be in stillness, and just do some activities so that you can be more centered in the wheel. But yeah, that's all I wanted to share for this month of November. I will see you all in my next new moon forecast.